Welcome back. Now we answer questions we've received from you, our viewers. If you have a question, visit our website, QuranSpeaks.com. Okay, Dr. Shabir, the question here is, are there contradictions within the Quran?
My simple answer is no. Some people have tried to point out that there are contradictions, but this is just their misunderstanding or lack of understanding, or their lack of care to just try to understand the book in the light of itself. Muslim commentators say that the Quran is explained by itself. Part of the Quran will interpret another part. Al-Qur'anu yufassiru ba'duhu ba'da. Part will explain another part. Something is said in brief in one place, but it was said in more detail in another place. Or one aspect of it may be given in one place and another aspect in a different place, but they're not contradictory or even contrary. They're just different aspects of the same issue. So, for example,
So he's all right, and I'm sure some other Muslims are all right with saying this about the Quran, which I have no issue with. My issue is when you try to say that the Bible then can't do that. When the Quran is written by one author, it's the divine, unchanging word, uncreated word of Allah. The Bible is a collection of books that were inspired by God. So if I see something and another person sees something, that doesn't mean that the event didn't happen. It's just I'm taking in and writing what I see as opposed to the other person writing down what they see. So obviously there's going to be certain things that are added in one area and not in another, which is why some of the Gospels have certain parts not in there, but others do. And therefore, it's the full scope of everything that's going on, like this brother's saying. So how can you be comfortable with saying that one author can have these different places where it got to be changed or added up here, but when it comes to different authors, what's up with that? For those who hold that stance anyway, I know not everybody holds that stance.
Somebody may point out that while the Quran clearly says in many places that the heavens and the earth were created in 6 days, they say that when we go to the 41st chapter of the Quran, from the 9th to the 11th verses, we find a detailed description there which gives the number of days for various aspects of the creation. And when we add them up, we get 8 days. And indeed, there is a mention of 2 and 4 and 2 again. So yeah, if you add 4 plus 2 plus 2, you are going to get 8. However, who says that you're supposed to add them like this? Well, if it was a sequential narrative that says this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then each segment has these number of days, then you can say, yes, that's what you're supposed to do, add up the number of days in your mind. But the Quranic language is very subtle, and there is a connector which is used in Arabic, fa, which suggests a sequence, but there's another connector, thumma, which could indicate a sequence, but it could also be just a referring back to something that was already mentioned, or it might be some additional information, or moreover. Dr. Maurice Bouquet, looking at this in detail in his book, The Bible, the Quran, and Science, he has pointed out that the first mention of 2 days for the creation of the earth, and then followed by 4 days for putting the sustenance in the earth, that gives us the 6, which is attested everywhere else in the Quran, that this is the 6 days in which God created the heavens and the earth. Now, the next mention of 2 days, finally, is the mention of the same original 2 days, which were already previously mentioned in reference to the earth, but now it's mentioned in reference to the heavens. God turned to the heavens when it was smoke and said to it, come either willingly or unwillingly. And so this is a mention of the same first 2 days. So we still have 6 days. 2 days plus 4 days, and then a reference back, like a flashback to the original 2 days. It's not 2 plus 4 plus like another 2. So
she kind of looked like she ain't paying no never mind though, for real. She kind of like, but she really thinking about what she making for dinner, or what she about to do with the girls on Saturday. That's what she think about. She ain't think about this. By the way, I don't know, but I've never really heard of this argument before. I mean, I've heard of it like maybe once or twice, but this isn't something I routinely see apologists or anybody try to make or debate. So maybe he's just starting from like the beginning and trying to like build his way up to the contradictions. Because this right here, I mean, I guess if that's how you want to explain it, cool. I don't have no issue with that. But I'm trying to get to the real contradictions. I'm trying to see those. I want to see Dr. Shabir Ali break down the contradictions that everybody else is talking about, that I'm seeing. I'm watching David Wood, Sam Shamoon, Guy Logic, Kristen Prince, Rob Christian, Ahmed ex-Muslim, Study to Show, Chris Claus. I'm trying to see I'm trying to see these contradictions that they're coming at. These ones that they're bringing up. That's what I'm trying to see. Not these. Ain't nobody talking about these. Come on now.
So it is still 6 days, and but one who doesn't want to do any of this thinking just says, "Oh, it looks like 8 days, and we found an error in the Quran here. Let's tell the next Muslim I meet about this."
So are there certain places in the Quran where, let's say, the pronouncements change? For example, about drinking alcohol.
Yeah, so Muslim scholars have dealt with this, and they have said that within the lifespan of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, more so within what we might call the prophetic period, where the Prophet, peace be upon him, receives the revelation when he was about 40 years old, and then he passes away at the age of 63. So within this 23-year span, there were many different and changing circumstances in his lifetime, and the Muslim community was new to all of this.
Wait, changes in his lifetime? Why is there changes in his lifetime? So instead of saying that there's changes that God wanted for Muhammad, he said that there's changes in Muhammad's lifetime. Wonder what that really means. But anyway, let's get back.
They came from a period that is referred to in our history as the period of ignorance. And now suddenly they're giving all these new regulations about Islam. So they now need time to adjust to all of this. And so if in the early stage, they might have been given a sort of a lax ruling, and then later on they're giving a stricter ruling. So both are mentioned in the Quran, but they have to be interpreted in the light of each other. And these are not contradictory rulings. It's more so like something is not said. Mm-hmm. So, for example, they are asking about alcohol, and they're being told, okay, alcohol has some benefits, but also a lot of harm. So, think about this. So people would know from that this is not welcome in the Quran. So we're going to give up alcohol, but it doesn't specifically say you have to give it up. Only later it says, this is from the work of the devil, so, leave it all together. So this is not contrary to what was said before.
Wait a second. So if it was the work of the devil later on, how was it not the work of the devil in the beginning? So the people that received this verse, do they have less of a ruling than the people who didn't come about until after this verse? So the people that were Muslims, when these verses were revealed, are they okay? Were they able to just drink and party and do all that stuff and be all right? But then the later Muslims who came afterwards that got the revelation of this verse, they're cool now as long as they don't drink. So the ones before were straight because they drunk. The ones after can't drink. But yet, either way, if it was a tool of the devil here, how come it's not the tool of the devil? I don't get it. But again, don't get me wrong. That's just me saying I don't get it. That's just me saying that don't make no sense. Whether it's a contradiction, I don't know. I'm not here to say, but again, I don't really hear this one. This is another one I'm really not here. I didn't even know about this until just now, to be honest with you. So whatever.
Because what was said before was simple. It was simply an answer to the question, what do we say about alcohol? Is it good or bad? And the answer is, it has some good things, but much more bad things about it. So use your judgment about that. And then later on, it's saying that you can't have it all at all.
So Dr. Shabir, how would a person approaching the Quran sort out these seeming contradictions in their mind? How did they figure out that these are not contradictions?
Well, one is by looking at the commentaries on the Quran, because the commentaries will often bring together these. So you come to one place, a verse is mentioned. So you look at the commentary will say, well, this has to be understood in the light of the other verse. And then the commentary will bring it all together and tell you, okay, so at first the Muslims were being told that alcohol has more bad than good. Second, they're being told, okay, if you drink, don't come to the prayer until you know what you're going to say, because you have to be sober if you're going to pray. And then lastly, they were being told now you can no longer have it. So this is normal. I mean, laws can change for a given, as time and circumstance changes. And we know this also from the Bible, in that an old law might have been given, and then Christians believe that a new law.
Yo, hold on, bro. Why you bringing up the Bible right now, cut? What's going on, man? Y'all talking about the Quran? Y'all talking about the Quran. She ain't asked you nothing about no Bible. But that's what they run to. But that's what they run to. That's the standard that they run to because they're supposed to. See how that makes sense? They're supposed to run to that. But yet they won't talk about how nowadays they contradict themselves because the Quran confirms the Bible. The Quran confirms the Torah, the Gospel, the Zabur, Injil, whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it. It confirms it. But y'all nowadays, oh man, it's corrupted. It's corrupted. The only ones that's not corrupted is the ones that we agree with. Don't say that nowhere in the Quran, though. Nowhere. The only thing that says in the Quran is that's confirmed. That you need to go check that out. If you are under these books, you need to go look at them. But they ain't talking about that one, are they? Nope. But I like it, though. Because you can't run. You can't hide. He could be addressing atheists right now. Atheists don't care nothing about no Bible. But no, he is addressing the Christians because he knows. He knows. Hey, shout out Dr. Shabir, man. Giving the Bible a shout out. He know. He got to try to compare. It doesn't work, though. But he got to try. Got to try something, grasping at straws.
Was instituted through the life and teachings of Jesus, on whom be peace. And Muslims believe that the Quran brought, in fact, a new law altogether, but even that new law was given gradually in stages. So there is a prescription for every time and circumstance as we go.
We'll leave it at that. Thank you, Dr. Shabir.
Huh? What do you mean y'all leaving it at that? That's the ones y'all addressing? That bullshit? That's what y'all talking about? What? Y'all not going to explain how the Quran's supposed to explain everything but doesn't? Y'all not going to explain that? That's the one I care about the most. That's the one and y'all can explain that? Y'all talking about all these other ones that ain't no one talking about? That maybe was discussed years ago, but then they was like, all right, well, we got bigger ones and better ones to talk about. Huh? How was the Quran explained and that's what they gave us? Look at that. Come on, bruh. I'm upset. It's been your boy Scripture Plug.Albert, man. I'll catch y'all next time. I'm out.